You had a plenty money, 1922. You let other women make a fool of you. Why don't you do right like some other men do? Get out of here and get me some money too.
Hola gente del Opinador Compulsivo, les habla Ramiro desde el Opinador Radial. Es sábado 13 de diciembre del 2008, se va el 2008. Quería traerles hoy un ejemplo de lo que hace el Bailout. Puse el otro día en el blog un ejemplo que me parece bastante representativo de los abusos que presenciamos en California y en el resto del país en los últimos meses con el tema de los préstamos inmobiliarios. Una persona, un mexicano, recogiendo frutillas en California, que no tiene ni papeles, que gana $14,000 por año, fue tentado por un banco para sacar un préstamo de $720,000, casi $750,000 para una persona que no gana ni $1,300 por mes. Una cosa de locos. Elevemos este problema a la potencia del 100 y tenemos la crisis con la que estamos hoy en día. ¿Cómo salimos de esto? La verdad que no sé, he escuchado muchas cosas, hay muchas alternativas en la mesa. Yo sí sé cómo no vamos a salir de esto, con bailouts y con la idea de que la persona que cometió un error tiene que ser recompensada por ello. Escuchen esta entrevista y después me cuentan.
If there's a competition for whoever's the least fortunate or the most unlucky in this housing crisis, I think she's got a claim for possibly being that person. She bought a house as a student without a lot of money at the very peak of the housing market. She bought this house for $230,000 with a loan from her grandmother to pay the down payment. And a month later, housing prices started to fall. She got one of these kind of fancy mortgages. This was one specially geared towards students that allowed her to pay off a minimum amount every month, but it wouldn't eat into the principal. It would only pay off interest. Her thinking was, well, housing prices will continue to go up, and in a few years, I can just sell it at an inflated price, pay off my loan, and make something for my trouble. Of course, the next month, housing prices started to fall. She can't get out of the loan. She actually tried to sell the house last year and did not get a single bidder.
Not one?
Not one. That's what she says. And she's really in a tough state. She was paying off the mortgage with a boyfriend who was living with her. They broke up. So Amy she doesn't know really what the right thing to do is, but she's considering taking a pretty drastic step. This caught Planet Money's Alex Bloomberg's eye, and he gave Amy a call, and this is their conversation.
I wanted to know if I should stop paying my mortgage because I read an article that said that it was possible that the government bailouts would help people to refinance into better long-term loans or like with better rates, but the only way that you could take advantage of that would be if you were behind in your payments or if you were almost in foreclosure. So I thought, well, if that's the case, then I'll just stop paying and, maybe I'll be able to benefit from those billions of dollars that the government wrote into the bailout.
Because right now you are not 2 months behind.
No, I've been struggling to keep up with the payments. I cannot afford. If I keep having to pay the mortgage, I will have to not do other things that I need.
And are you so your question is should you sort of just stop making the payments for a couple months and see if you're eligible? And how do you feel about that? What does that make you feel when you think about that? Give me all the conflicted feelings that you might. Is it just relief, or is it sort of like?
At this point, it is sort of relieving to think about not having to pay. I mean, even if it was for a few months that I wouldn't have to pay, if it would help me in the long run, then I would feel relieved about that. Mm-hmm. But then I do feel conflicted because this whole time, the whole point of buying the house was to build equity, to build credit. And now that would sort of all go down the drain.
Right.
But also, I guess it brings up feelings for me about the bailout
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why should all those rich CEOs of banks get bailed out, but not us? I mean, it should. I feel like kind of angry because I feel like it needs to. Why didn't they just take $700 billion and pay off every single individual's credit card debt or something like that? That would be what would really help us.
Mm-hmm. Right. And do you feel like if the idea of the bailout had not been brought up, do you think that this would even be crossing your mind at this point?
Well, I think that my financial troubles would be the same.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like stopping paying my mortgage, I don't know.
Sin comentarios. Deprimente. Gracias por escuchar. Hasta la próxima. Chao.
Right. Like some other men do. Get out of here.